Hey there, today we're doing a review of this backpack. It's the SwissGear 1900 Smartscan. Here at Nomads Nation, we have been reviewing the world's best travel and EDC gear for the past 7 years. And in this video, I'm gonna tear this bag apart. We're gonna pack it out, double check its advertised capacity, give you my brutally honest pros and cons and overall scores. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because if you're not quite sold that this is the bag for you, I will give you 2 bag alternatives that you might like more. Let's talk about the gist of the SwissGear 1900 backpack. And I'm really excited because this is my first SwissGear review, and this is an iconic backpack brand. You see them all over the world. And spoiler alert, I was amazed and also extremely frustrated by this bag. Because love or hate SwissGear, you gotta give them props for doing their own thing. This is not how modern bags are being designed. Even Bihn, who's on the quirky, pockety, dad bag side of things, they're not even this hardcore. So Swiss does it their own way. And I'm gonna run you through some of the top features right now, but I don't even know where to begin. This bag's a lot. We've got a admin pocket in the front with its own volume, an upside down top pocket, also has its own volume and a little bit of height to it as well. Compression straps on the side pockets, gusseted opening into the main compartment. Possibly most interesting of all is the handle, which does in fact have a steel frame. This handle can be a murder weapon. It 100% can be. Clamshell style access to, is this real? Hold on, bro.
What is that?
I don't know. This clamshell style access to a tablet compartment. And then this fascinating half side access opening for the laptop sleeve with an adjustable Velcro panel. This thing is wild, dude. Now, SwissGear claims this bag is 31 liters in capacity. We're gonna need 2 volume measurement for this one. Gotta bring out the big boy as well, because reason being, this bag's got a lot of pockets. And one thing that SwissGear does, really well, even though I make fun of them for it, because the pockets are kind of lame, but they have a lot of volume. They're very, very functional pockets. So we gotta bust out all the tools to properly measure them. All right, as you can see, main compartment, fully packed out. Same thing with this pocket and the front pocket, but not the side pockets, nor the laptop sleeve, because neither of those pockets really have their own independent volume, especially when the bag's fully packed out. Quick dimensions check. We got a back panel height of 19 inches, around 12 inches of width. And it's a beefy base depth. We're looking at 10 inches. That means if you're flying with this bag and you're trying to get it into a personal item sizer in the States of 18 by 14 by 8, it's probably not, it's not gonna make the cut. Because as you can see, at 10 inches, it is a very bulky bag when fully packed out. For the front pocket here, we're just around 2 liters. Add the top pocket, we're getting about 1 more liter, around 3. And then for the main compartment, you can see we're just at about 20 liters on the dot. So main compartment 20, 2 front pockets, 3 liters, you're at 23. I think you add in the side pockets and the water bottle pockets and the laptop compartment. They're all tight, but you might get to 27 liters maybe, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this is not a full 30, at least not by the way that we measure at Nomads Nation. Swiss claims this bag is 3.3 pounds. I'm actually getting 2.9 pounds on scale number 1. And again, 2.9 pounds on scale number 2. This is what the bag looks like when it's empty. And here it is fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. I'm 5'8", Jason Bagmoa is 6'2". And don't worry, we're gonna pack out this bag throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. As of recording, this bag comes in a dozen different color options. All Swiss backpacks are covered by their 5-year warranty. And for all that, this bag runs around 75 to 99 USD, depending on where you're buying it. And that last point is really important because here at Nomads Nation, I don't care what bag you buy, I just want you to find the best bag for you. But whatever bag you buy, I wanna make sure you get it at a great price, which is why if you're thinking about making a purchase, we recommend doing so with the first link in the description. That link makes sure that you get the best price, and also we negotiate a lot of discount codes with the brands that we work with. So if we have a discount code, that's where you'll find it. Let's talk about the materials of the SwissGear 1900 ScanSmart. This is also where we talk about the aesthetic, where for me, these are gonna be the points that are not on the good side of this bag. This is just an aesthetic that kind of kills me. Unless you're like going full hipster ironic with it, which if that's the case, you know, I salute you. I'm a half recovering, half closeted hipster myself, so I totally get that vibe. But for everyone else, I think that a lot of people get this bag because the aesthetic is just kind of like badass. Or maybe it's like very like uncly, I don't know. It's just not a vibe that does it for me. But I will say, while I don't love the way the bag looks, the materials for the price point really impressed me. I mean, remember, I've reviewed about 800 bags at this point, so it's not easy to always impress me. And this impression is always taking into consideration the price point of around 100 USD. But this 1200E polyester, super nice. Feels good, it looks good. It's gonna give you a bit of weather resistance as well. Polyester is just very naturally water repellent. It's not gonna be the cream of the crop when it comes to abrasion resistance. Nylon is definitely better for that. But for 98% of people out there, this polyester will be more than enough. But my good impression of the materials doesn't end there. Just like these little accents and stuff, and the way Swiss designs and pulls their bag together, the included metal carabiner, the steel frame handle, which I have a lot of thoughts on that we're gonna talk about in another chapter from now. And just the overall padding and feel of the shoulder straps. It's just a bag that, like, if I close my eyes, you blindfolded me, and I touch this bag, with its consent of course, I guess this bag was like 150 USD, up to 200. So I think SwissGear has done a great job of using high quality materials with this bag. Except the fact that we're not using YKK zippers. And these zips in general are one of the most annoying parts of the bag. They're just very metallic, very loud, like our media assistant here, Sig, when he heard the bag for his first time, he said it sounds like Santa's sleigh. That's the vibe you're going to be giving off, you know, just jingling all over the place. And to add insult on injury, these are not name brand zippers, and which in my experience, the zippers are the first thing that goes in a backpack. But hopefully if it does happen to you, SwissGear's 5-year warranty should have you covered. Everything else though, I'm really cool with at the price point. Okay, next chapter, let's do the pack out of the SwissGear 1900 ScanSmart. Starting with the main compartment, we're gonna pack it out as if we're going traveling. Because for me, 31 liters is too big for everyday carry. But it's a really great backpack size for a weekend trip. So I got a packing cube with around a week's worth of clothes. But before I pack out the main compartment, like, Swiss's market, they're either geniuses or they're just really behind the times, maybe both. Because they have this accordion style system in here, which they market for magazines and other documents. Nothing against magazines and documents, I just don't know how many people are actually traveling with them these days. Also, we have the little cell phone scrotum right here, which you can see is just meant to sort of help your phone dangle right there, which is like, all right, it's kind of genius in some ways because you're utilizing space in the bag that wouldn't otherwise be used, and it's accessible, you know, you just unzip and grab your phone real fast, but also like, you can just put your phone here or here. It's just, SwissGear are weird, man. We've also got these gussets here, which are also a little perplexing to me. Not that I'm against gussets. Also, fun fact, guys, I made my own backpack a few years ago. It's called the Fire T22, and we have gussets on that bag. So I'm not anti-gussets. In fact, gussets are really functional when they help you kind of keep something open like this. The only problem is this front panel is so flimsy, so you're not really gaining a lot by having these gussets, in my opinion. The bag doesn't self-stand very well, really, like, at all. So the choice of the gussets, interesting to me. Also, one last note in the main compartment, you have this right here, which actually kind of helps the self-standing a bit. I didn't use this when I was testing the bag. It's just like a hard panel that you can stow away or insert. Let's keep that down and see how it goes. So I got my packing cube in here. I'm not gonna utilize the magazine sleeve for this trip. Kit with all my bathroom stuff, tech pouch in the back, hoodie on top. You know, actually it self-stands pretty well now that we have that base engaged. And the packing cube on the bottom is definitely helping as well. Now let's pack out these two front pockets because they're interesting. The bottom pocket is great for all your smaller bits of gear. You can slide some pens in the pen slots, passport size notebook. It does say RFID, but I think RFID blocking on a backpack is kind of, I don't want to say it's scammy, but for a compartment to be truly RFID, it has to kind of be laser welded, right? Otherwise, the RFID is coming out of the top here and it's going over here. I just think it's not really that protective. Throw my wallet in the back sleeve. You could throw your sunglasses in here. And then also just to showcase the depth that we're dealing with, if you have less stuff in this pocket, you should be able to fit your Sony XM H5s. Oh, absolutely. Very nice fit in there. Quick access, Love that. And then you can use the top for your other quick access stuff. Now remember, this pocket goes all the way down to here. Basically the top of this pocket is the bottom of that pocket. So you can throw your passport in there, throw your wallet in there, or it could just be a good spot for your hard shell glasses case. Or if you want to get real weird with it, you can connect your glasses case to this outside carabiner, which I just appreciate. I don't know why. It's like the nicest carabiner I've seen. It's just really well designed. It was fun to play with. I embraced the SwissGear lifestyle. That's why. That's what SwissGear does to you. By the end of like a week using this bag, you're back to reading magazines and using the scrotum pocket. Now initially, these side pockets here were quite interesting to me because I thought they were gonna be sort of Bihn style where they had their own built-in volume. And they kind of do, but they really don't. They're pretty flush actually. So finally, our passport and wallets will find a home here. Now let's take a look at these external water bottle pockets because they're not my favorite. They're just not great. They're not very tall. You can see we're at around just barely over 5 inches. So for a 24-ounce Columbia, it gets in there, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be very stable. It's tight, we're there, but like, I don't feel very confident about it. But to increase your level of confidence, you can in fact use these compression straps to cinch the water bottle into place and make it a bit more secure. Ooh, even better. Weave it on through there, boom. Now your water bottle ain't going nowhere. 1.5 liter Bonaqua also fits, but we're not getting a lot of security there. These are not very tall water bottle holders, which means that this bag is definitely designed for smaller water bottles. Now, you want to talk about things that just blew my mind. Let's talk about this. I don't understand what's happening. Now, this is advertised as the tablet safe for, and I quote, superior electronic cradling. But here's where it gets confusing is, first off, it's just crazy. They're totally right though. I have never seen a tablet compartment as protected as this. This reminds me of like those science projects that you do in middle school where you try and like drop the egg from the first floor and you put the egg in the middle, right? That's this. You put an egg in here and you drop this bag, the egg's not gonna break. Cause just look at what's going on, you know? But the sizing is strange. Like check this out. My Kindle fits. Going into actual normal tablet sizes, this is an 11.5 inch. You can see, oof, we're just barely fitting. Okay, so that fits, but the larger tablet, which doesn't fit, but could fit, but doesn't, and it confuses me. We're at 13.5 inches for this one. You can see that is not gonna work, but it could have worked. But I guess, you know, Swiss is like our audience. They read magazines and they don't use tablets bigger than 11.5 inches. I don't know, what do you think? A bit of a miss there? Should Swiss just have extended this out ever so slightly to accommodate larger tablets? Good news though is if you are a tablet user and you have an 11.5 or smaller, it is so secure. And it's really strange to me. And just to like riff on that, like it's strange because, not that this is strange, it's actually awesome, but it's strange that we carved out this entire compartment for it. And it's called the ScanSmart because I assume what they are advertising is like, hey, when you go through TSA, boom, unzip, it's scanned in the smart way. It just scans right through. You don't have to take anything out, but those days are also kind of over because TSA agents are like, oh, that's cool. The tablets, you're opening it and I can see, take it out. I don't care. Like, they don't play that game anymore. So I think that's a little bit outdated as well. And also just looking at the design, like we have this mesh, which allows you to see through into the next compartment, but there's no additional access there and there's no real padding here. So if your laptop is on one side and your tablet's here, they are, in fact, having a bad time together. So it's just, maybe I'm missing something. Throughout this entire review, if I sound like a dick and you're like, dude, you're totally missing the plot right now, school me in the comments, please. Laptop compartment, side access with the little adjustment system via Velcro here. Not very confidence inspiring, but as the name suggests, it should be able to fit our 17-inch Asus VivoBook. Slide that on in. Oh yeah, for sure. Plenty of room to spare. You might be able to get an 18-inch in there, dude. We've got a little AirTag slot at the top, but this thing is also perplexing to me. I don't know what it's actually accomplishing. Allow me to re-Velcro it, and then I'll un-Velcro it. Slide this in, and I'll re-Velcro it. Not gonna lie, don't think it's doing anything. I'm taking this off. Now, as for laptop protection, we don't have much of a false bottom going on. There's no elevation happening with the laptop, but there is a ton of padding on the bottom, like especially here. Like it's very well padded, which means, you know, That's a thud, but it's not quite like steel on plastic or fake wood or whatever this is, kind of a thud. So overall, with all the padding in the back panel, and then whatever you're packing out in the front, plus the padding on the bottom, it's a pretty secure location for your laptop. Now, before we jump into the next section where I talk about the actual functionality of this bag, I gotta let you know that if you're enjoying this review, thank you for sticking around. I am on one today, so I'm not always this brazen. But also, you're probably enjoying the world of bags, and you might be a bit of a bag nerd or a gearhead, and you might be a traveler or really into EDC. And if that's the case, like, we should connect, dude, because like here at Nomads Nation, that's our trifecta, like carry plus travel plus EDC. That's what we do, I'd say, better than most brands on the internet and off the internet. And if that's your cup of tea, you're definitely gonna wanna sign up to the Nomads Nation newsletter, where we take this whole thing a step further. That's where I'm bringing to your inbox on a monthly basis the newest drops, limited edition releases, industry trends, and everything in between. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible industry and join over 10,000 gearheads and carry nerds, be sure to look for this globe emoji in the description below. I hope to see you in your inbox. Let's talk about the functionality of the SwissGear ScanSmart 1900. Overall, this is definitely a bag that organization nerds are going to love. A lot of pockets, but my view on these pockets is kind of 50-50. Some are awesome and really have their own volume and functionality and can be used in multiple ways. But others, like the cell phone scrotum pocket and these side pockets, they're just kind of lacking in some ways in terms of their versatility and what they can actually accomplish. But there's a lot of other functionality that this bag offers. We've got a hanging loop right here, which is ideal when you're traveling and you find yourself in a foreign and perhaps not ideal, maybe a little bit of a dirty of a bathroom. In that situation, this hanging loop is a lifesaver. And this is a really nice one. It's really well stitched, plenty of room to hang it up on. Very nicely done. On the shoulder straps, we have a bunch of different lash points that you can clip things onto. This lash point actually has a photo of sunglasses, therefore communicating to me, I believe, that my sunglasses should go here. I don't know why they needed to make it on this stretchy nylon though, and it's not like I can, no, you're just kind of doing one of these, but it definitely works. On the bottom of the shoulder straps, love these little loops. They're kind of a joy to use when you gotta tighten the bag. Kind of do one of these, it makes it a lot easier to grab. Reminds me of like the good old days of being an 8th grader and putting little thumb holes in my hoodie. So that's tight, but what's not as tight on the shoulder straps is all this dangle that's going on, which makes this little guy angry. This is No Dangle Dan, he's our in-house resident dangle protester. And all he asks for, guys, ladies and gentlemen, is some sort of system to lock this into place so then we're not flopping all over the place. These are called web holders, these are called dangle stoppers. They cost next to nothing, and at 100 USD, I do expect them to be put on my back. Shame on you, SwissGear. A couple more lash points in the front for external carry. These side holes here could be good for ventilating whatever's in this compartment. I guess in theory, you could put something like a towel in there, maybe your shoes if there's nothing in the main compartment. And let's give us a little testaroo for how it works in travel mode with a suitcase. You can see we have our luggage pass-through right here. We've got a little bit of looseness to it. Really strong bar tack stitching around this nylon webbing. As you can see, it slides on very nicely. I think that with this off-center design though, you have some negatives. You can see it kind of leans forward a bit. Not terrible, right? But like, I just always like it when the bag is more flush against the suitcase. So that's why it's a little bit more common to see the luggage pass-through be a bit more centered. But overall, it's fine, gets the job done. All right, functionality over. Let's talk about the comfort of the SwissGear 1900 ScanSmart. Because overall, I did find this to be a pretty comfortable bag. I was smitten with how it felt. It's just got a really nice feel to it. Swiss gets it. Ton of padding on the back panel. Could have used a bit more on the shoulder straps. Let me show you what I mean. Because that back panel is juicy, mattressy. There's just a lot going on here. And you also have this airflow. Very squishy, very mattressy, very comfortable. And because of these 3D cutouts, you get a little bit of ventilation going through here, which Swiss is reminding you by saying airflow. This is not like a trademarked thing. They're just saying airflow, reminding you that air can flow through that part. Width of the shoulder straps is just under 3 inches, just where I like to see it. But for the depth, again, we're coming in a little shallow for me, just under 1 cm. At this size, I just would have appreciated it to be a little bit chunkier. And one last note on the comfort is just the overall touch points of the bag. Touch point number 1 that annoys me is gonna be this dangle. It is not uncomfortable, but it's always kind of flopping all over the place and hitting you in the face, and it's just not fun. Touch point number 2 are all these zippers. They're very metal, very hard, very unforgiving. Not my personal preference, but they do feel premium. I'll give them that. But the final touch point I gotta talk about is this top handle. This is wild. I have never seen anything like this. You see, it's like self-standing. It's because there's literally, it's steel. Dude, like this is literally titanium or something, which gives the handle so much strength and it's so robust. And I actually really enjoyed using it. And on top of it, this part is actually like a very, very hard plastic. So you got steel, you've got plastic, and this is the antithesis of what you typically see with a backpack top handle. Usually they're kind of soft and squishy and gushy, and Swiss said, that, we're not doing that. But you know what, I liked it. It wasn't the coziest experience, but it was always right there. It's just always like ready to go, and it always just kind of feels like, Actually, I really enjoyed the handle. And best of all, if someone attacks you or tries to hurt you, you can definitely hurt them with this because this is very, very hard. I wonder, can you fly with that? It's metal. Now let's get into the most crucial part of this review and give you my overall pros and cons of the SwissGear 1900 ScanSmart. Should be noted for the pros and cons I'm about to talk about and the overall scores, like all of this is personal, guys. It's just based on my experience using the bag. Pro number one, pockets. If you love organization, you're gonna love this bag, especially considering that some of the pockets have their own independent volume. There's a lot of pocket versatility going on with this bag. Pro number two, it's actually quite comfortable. I think at 100 USD, like this is kind of on par with where like Tomtoc is in terms of like a more value, accessibly priced backpack, giving you like more comfort than you typically see at that price point. And pro number three, I gotta admit, I just kind of fell in love with the top handle. It was fun, it was interesting, it was extremely functional. Props to SwissGear for doing something different. But on the flip side, all bags have cons, and here are three of mine. Con number one is just the strangeness of that design of the tablet bunker area. I feel like we've got a lot of wasted space, which makes extra weight and complications in the bag that I just didn't get. Con number two is gonna be the lack of name brand zippers on this bag, especially at the price point. And con number three, whatever this is supposed to be with the laptop compartment, I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't understand your purpose. Now I'm gonna take these overall pros and cons, mash them together, and give you my overall scores. Score number one for comfort, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. We got the right shoulder strap padding, we've got the right back padding, we've got airflow, we've got a really cool handle. Could use a little bit more depth on the shoulder straps, and a sternum strap, of which we have none, which is totally acceptable on an 18-liter backpack, but in my opinion, totally unacceptable on a 30-liter backpack, which, you know, we're at 25 liters, give or take, but still, it's a bigger bag, and sternum straps for me are very important. So 3.5 out of 5. Number two, value. I'm gonna give this bag a 3.5 out of 5. While I do find some of the design choices to be a little confounding, overall, it's unique. And I find unique to be valuable on the market because, you know, it's just different, and you can't find this kind of a bag everywhere. Swiss, again, they do their own thing. And for my overall score, I'm gonna give this bag a 3 out of 5. It frustrated me, it perplexed me, but overall it was comfortable enough and versatile enough as to where I didn't hate it. Is it my favorite bag of all time? That's gonna be a hard no. But I think for the right person, if you dig the aesthetic and you're looking for an interesting bag around this price point, it's definitely unique in that sense. I'll give Swiss that. And just a reminder, if you're thinking about picking one of these bags up, we do recommend doing so with the first link in the description. Again, because that link makes sure you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's where you find it. But if you're not quite sold on the Swiss, let's talk alternatives. First up, if you are new to the Nomads Nation channel, you should definitely check out our leaderboard rankings video. In this video, myself and the Nomads Nation squad, we get together and we all pick our favorite bags in different bag categories. It's the fastest way for you to see what the best options are on the market, and I'll go ahead and link that above. Also, in case you're new to the channel, like I said earlier, here at Nomads Nation, we actually started our own bag brand as well, and that brand is called Firo. At Firo, we're on a mission to help empower modern professionals by keeping them streamlined and focused, and we do that with our gear. We've launched sling, EDC bag, travel bag. I am so proud of what we built at Firo. Our products are definitely priced on the more premium side, but they're backed with the world's best materials and a lifetime warranty. If you want to learn more, you can do so at firo.co or with the second link in the description below. But if we're really close with the Swiss, here are two bags that might get you a little bit closer. My first alternative will be the Tomtoc T66. Now it comes in a 28 liter and a 40 liter, but the 40 is not that big, it's more like a 35, and the 28 is more like a 25. It's actually pretty close to this size, and it's also very closely priced to this bag. They're both around 100 USD, and they're both really bringing their A game when it comes to value. Like I said, Swiss was one of the more comfortable bags at this price point that I've tested, but Tomtoc is the most comfortable bag brand at this price point that I've tested, consistently. And my second alternative suggestion is going to be the Bihn Synik. Now, this is a great bag for you if you dig the Swiss style. You're not looking for the sleekest bag, you're looking for the most functional with awesome pockets. Bihn sort of takes what Swiss does and brings it to the next level. You're gonna pay for it though, like it's coming in at least 3 times the price. But in case you're new to this world and you just thought that Swiss was the way to go and you don't mind spending a bit more for something exceptional quality, Bihn is one of the best bag brands in the world and has been for like 50 years. Honestly, all 3 bags are great. You just gotta figure out what your budget is and what you're looking for and which bag checks the most boxes. And to learn more about the 2 alternatives, you can just watch these videos right here. If you got any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.